Hello everyone, it's IAmTheLionRider, and today on the Roger Williams Zoo, we are working on the Moon Bear exhibit. I am joined with my three compadres, three today, the most guests I've had. We have Cole here.
Hello everyone.
We have Peter.
Howdy.
And we have Brett.
Hello.
So, the three of them, unlike pretty much everyone in my series, they're all from Rhode Island, so that's a plus, amazingly. So I know at least two of you have been to the zoo. Have you been to the zoo? Okay, so all three of them have been to Roger Williams. I know Cole has gone semi-recently, correct? You went earlier this year.
Probably about 6 months ago.
6 months. Okay, so before the Rona.
Yes, before the Rona.
So yeah, we're basically just continuing the Marco Polo Trail. As you can see, I'm struggling to do an underwater viewing for the moon bears. This was a very annoying episode to do, I will say that. So for the first half of it, you'll see me struggling to accommodate the path, terrain, and water systems. Because basically, as you guys know, there's an underwater viewing area that comes from, it's in the middle of two hills.
Yes.
So the first hill, you come down from the camel exhibit and then you go back up a hill to see like the snow leopard and red panda and stuff. So you can see me struggling with that right now. And this was a pain just because, again, I'm messing with several, systems at once. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, this is definitely what I believe is the best exhibit in the zoo for a, frankly, layman. Because I've never seen the moon bears do anything in my 20 years.
No, they kind of just sit in the corner.
They sit in the corner all the time.
and sometimes they're pretty hard to find as well.
Yeah, like, I've seen once in my life they played in the pool. That is the only time in my life I've ever seen them do anything other than hang out in the corner, or during the winter they were on a little heated pad in the corner and you could barely see them.
Maybe they're all just a little introverted. They don't want to be out in the public too often.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a shame because they're bears, which bears are always cool, but, like, they just don't do a lot, and it's a real shame just because there's two of them. There's a male and a female. They're brother and sister, before anyone asks, because they're going to be like, are they a breeding pair? No, they are siblings. Their names are George and Gracie, and they've been in the zoo as long as I can remember. So I respect them. They're pretty much the staple animal for the Marco Polo Trail. But as you can see, I'm still messing with that path system. I really hated this episode for that reason. The path system, because I had to literally like destroy part of the path and stuff. And I mean, you guys have seen my episodes in the past, but like I've done. I did a fence along this entire crane exhibit, and I had to destroy it because it was messing with the path system, because it doesn't like it if paths are in the way of fences.
Yeah, you can see you're really struggling to make that fence in the path.
Well, and the other issue is I was trying to make the terrain line up with the water here, and so I had to like constantly try and get the water level right, and that was also a pain. And I'm also trying to go for realism, so I'm using my reference photos and Google Earth and stuff to like try and match it the best I can, but I obviously had to take some minor, liberties when it came to it. I finally got the water to work, as you can see, but now I have this gross lip in the way of Earth, so I had to remove that. I got that working, smoothed it out. I'm like, yes, I finally got the desired water level. And then later in the video I messed it up again. So, that is an issue I had. But I get to do the fun part, which is the Rockwork. So the entire Moon Bear exhibit is basically a giant concrete rock formation that wraps around the entire zoo. So basically it starts at like where the camel is, and then it loops around to like the snow leopard, and it all evenly comes together in the end. And so the entire thing is like this giant man-made concrete rock formation. And it allows for like a lot of like cool viewing areas, because the Moon Bear has the most viewing, I think, out of any exhibit in the zoo, at least glass-wise.
Yeah, it doesn't have glass.
Because you have the main viewing when you come down from the camel, and that's like the cliff overview. then you come down, and then you have 3 window options, with one being underwater viewing. So what you can see now is I also had to modify the snow leopard placement because that was messed up. Because obviously to accommodate the path with the moon bears, I had to move where the snow leopards are actually dropped off at. So I am going to eventually, off camera, probably do the moon bear and snow leopard house, which is in the back, and it's the Venetian Plaza that I've brought up in the past, which it's funny. All 3 of us have taken Italian, so that we can talk about that, I guess. So because I don't know why that is like a weird theme. They have the Marco Polo Trail as like based off Marco Polo, who was like the Italian explorer. Yeah, and so I never quite understood that aspect of it, but everyone, always, everyone knows Marco Polo, I guess, Roger Williams, and yeah, I don't know, they have like a weird, like, I guess it's used for parties now, but like, it's like this weird, like, I always call it like a glorified, like, wishing well, like, because it's just like that little, like, fountain area that you throw in coins into. Though that was close to it. Well, actually, could you see that in the picture?
I don't remember.
I don't recall. I mean, well, yeah, you guys probably have come back years, yeah. Obviously, I go far more than the average person.
I would say so. Now, can I ask a question?
Yes.
Were the moon bears in the game, or is this a...
Yes, so actually that was an amazing thing. So believe it or not, the moon bears are actually an animal available in Planet Zoo.
Really?
So those are the Formosan black bears, which many people may recognize as the animal I used for the seals. So, so technically the seals and the moon bears are the same animal.
So a Formosan black bear is a moon bear?
Yes, so it's a weird subspecies of moon bear. So moon bear, because Roger Williams does a lot of like weird generalizations, kind of misinforms the public, I'm not gonna lie, about what certain animals are. So the general term is the Asiatic black bear, because these are black bears that are found in all of Asia. And they're called moon bears because they have a little moon crest on their stomach. And so in game, they have one of these specific subspecies, which is the Formosan black bear, which technically is not found in any zoo. I don't know why they chose that specific subspecies. But luckily, I mean, there's no difference between what a, Formosa black bear looks like and a moon bear. So I really didn't feel the need to make a mod. It would have literally just been changing the name.
So they still have the moon crest on there?
Yes, and you will see that like in the end. I have them like walking around. I also made it so that just like in real life, they hang out in the corner 90% of the time.
Well, that's good because those viewing platforms that you made at the bottom, they're pretty useless when they just hang out in.
Yeah, though I did get a scene that had them actually moving around in the water, so I had them at least utilize it.
Oh yeah, but if you're going for the accuracy, yeah, you don't want them walking all around, especially.
Oh no, I'm going for realism, so they have to be lazy, just like in real life. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm doing the first viewing area as you come down the trail from where the dromedary camel exhibit is, and this was an interesting technique I've never used. Normally, I would use the actual glass fences, but I used instead glass panes and kind of made fake fences for once. So you can still look through the glass. That's not an actual fence piece or whatever. So I just used the null barrier, which is kind of like a invisible barrier that you can make custom fences with, as long as they're within the area. I also made this this little canyon area. I don't know what it's for, frankly, because the moon bears shouldn't be able to escape, from what I can tell, because the entire thing is encapsulated in rocks. And if the argument is like, oh, well, maybe the glass over here isn't that structurally sound, they also have glass below, so I have no idea what the logic behind that is, because I've heard some people say that because there's the underwater viewing, they use reinforced glass underneath, but I don't know why they wouldn't just do it for.
I was gonna say, seems like they could just add reinforced
Yeah.
glass up top as well. Right?
Yeah. What I did like is the moon bear exhibit specifically has these kind of like overhangs that like I get to use sticks with, and so I had to like make custom branches for the entire overhang that I really haven't used since probably the first episode or the second episode, whatever, the zebra enclosure. I think that's the only other area of the zoo that really has those kind of pieces of wood or bark. So I had to make quite a bit of logs. Nothing super crazy. It's gonna be a little bit tedious right now, just like watching everything, but you know, it's one of those things.
Now the real question is, would you rather do this or more foliage?
Okay, well, because I do get to do foliage in a minute,
Oh, here we go.
that's not fun. Because specifically the moon bear exhibit has some interesting foliage. Because like I said, I think it is objectively the best exhibit in the zoo. And I feel like I almost didn't do it justice entirely, just because of how much weird, intricate stuff there is. So when we get to it, which will probably be in a minute, because I luckily can just copy and paste some sticks after I made enough so that you don't really notice the reflection. And so I think that looks good now. You see me grab the sign from the snow leopard enclosure and change it to say moon bear. There you go. Just throw that in there, and then I copy it around because I think it's all, they use the exact same sign closer to the underwater view. But first I just basically finish up the rock wall. In real life you can kind of, it's hard to almost see some of the rocks just because there's a lot of like foliage in the way. And you see me doing some of that amazing foliage work that you were talking about. But once we actually get to it, because I'm just trying to make the rock work look a little bit less repetitive, so I've noticed this a lot with like a lot of Planet Zoo creators. A lot of them just like to place down rocks and they don't really see the value of rotating. Specifically like the Planet Zoo creators like designed this entire game to be similar to a game engine, and so they designed all the art pieces to be utilized by like flipping and rotating them. And I just noticed a lot of people just want to rotate them on whatever axis they have and not like vertically and stuff. And that like really helps if you like break up the monotony, which frankly I should have done here, because as you see this rock wall in the back, you see along the top it's like the same pattern going through the entire thing, and it becomes really noticeable.
Yeah, they can make a big difference when rotating submerged rock.
Yeah, so you see me like cleaning it up a bit. So this was the hardest part of the exhibit. So obviously I'm doing what will be the indoor moon bear exhibit, which you can't see, which is on the other side of the Venetian Plaza. It's actually, like I said, it's a clever way to like hide it. I'm not sure about the theming, but it's a clever way to hide it. So it's rock wall on one side and then like an industrial building on the inside. But basically, like I had to like get the weird hill formation right, and the entire hill is on a bed of concrete, which has like the weirdest rocks ever. So, like I said, most of the actual exhibit was like weird rock work. So I don't know if you guys have seen at the zoo, like you probably haven't noticed, but like they have like where they sit, they have like these weird spiky triangular rocks along the edges that they kind of like, when they sit, they'll like wedge themselves between them. And so I'm trying to like emulate that. They have a little rock in Planet Zoo that's like the little triangular piece. And so you see me like kind of using it a lot because, and they're like spikes. Like it's really weird. Like it's almost like horn, or like an antler or something, like designed with the rock work. But to appease Brett, I think we're finally getting into me actually adding some foliage and stuff to the enclosure now that for the most part the rock work is done, and so I guess I can talk about the trees. So in the zoo, the moon bear enclosure has really, really, really big trees, and I don't know why, and I wish Planet Zoo had bigger ones. And so the only way to accommodate that was by doing this, where I literally took individual logs and just made a circle out of them, and then basically just copy and pasted them a bunch. But I was never able to like find anything I was super satisfied with. You can see me doing like all these different weird methods of making a custom tree. So like this one, for instance, I used like a log and then like flipped it around and stuff. It just wasn't looking right. And then I put like another tree inside of it. And I think that's sort of what I stuck with because it was the best looking. I just blame Frontier for this. They just don't have tall trees other than the Brazil nut tree. Like, I mean, we all live in New England. We know, what do we have? Spruce trees, oak trees, you know, birch, but
a couple
pine trees. But they're all very tall though, because New
Especially
England is
the oak tree.
exactly like the oak trees are massive here because they've been around for probably at least 70, 80 years, if not hundreds here. So, you know, naturally, like, our trees are massive, and this game just makes it seem like all oak trees are, like, less than 5 years old. Like, they're, like, you know, very short. So, you see me making, again, custom logs and stuff out of other logs, and I'll pull up a picture right now of, like, what it looks like. I have no idea how the physics of this log work in real life. Because it really does look like this, where it's like, you know, somehow supported by another branch that also doesn't look like it should be angled that way. But that is how it is located in the actual zoo. So I want to talk about this. So I decided there's a little pebble area by the underwater viewing, and so I decided by dotting around a bunch of different color rocks, it could look like pebbles. So it's very taxing on the game normally. But I think in the end it does look like it's like, you know, like kind of like a
I can see that from that, yeah.
a coastal area, or like if you ever been like bass fishing or something, like that kind of texture by like rivers. So onto the actual foliage pass. So I'm using a bunch of different bushes and like bamboo styles and stuff to kind of litter the area in different colors of bushes and grass and stuff. Just because, again, like, this area is covered in foliage while also being on a bed of concrete of like these weird, you know, spiky areas. So you see me like kind of like placing all these like bushes and stuff throughout the entire enclosure, and I'm just trying to get everything to like look a little bit prettier. But overall, it's like just kind of a little bit weird. So what am I doing? Oh yeah, so right now I'm basically just making a slight hill. This was like kind of a creative liberty, just so that the animals in game could actually navigate around the area. And past that, I'm just kind of going around. I'm touching up like areas that I know I needed to. Oh, I do want to talk about this. So in real life, they have like this kind of, I'm not really sure what it is. It's some kind of like barrel or like storage drain in the exhibit. I'm not sure what it's for. I don't know if it's for water. It might be a septic tank for the water. You know how like everyone has like a septic tank or something, like they're like, you know, keep it closed. I'm almost wondering if that's the case and it's just like a thing that like the water feeds in and then like drains out that way. Or it could just be an area where they have, I have no idea what it is. It's just some sort of weird little barrel thing. And then you can see me here, I'm just modifying the terrain a little bit so that it's a little easier to navigate without being too, you know, crazy. And then I'm spreading some long grass along the entire thing just to add a little bit more detail. But we're coming up on the end of the enclosure. I think here I'm just adding a couple of dead birch trees, or they might be pine trees. I'm not really sure. And then going around and adding more rocks and stuff. Now, this entire exhibit I had to pretty much use entirely from reference photos from when it was winter time earlier this year. And so that kind of, you know, take that with a grain of salt of the vegetation level and health of how, you know, dead it is, because on Google Earth, this entire area is covered in trees. So from a top-down view, you can't really make out the exhibit. Okay, so right now, before I end this video, I'm making the little perch where the moon bears usually hang out. It's right by the door, and you'll find these guys hanging out 90% by this door all the time. I don't know why they love it so much. I don't know if there's like a cooler or a heating pad or something, but they just hang out there and sleep all the time there. So in order to incentivize this behavior in the game, I put a bedding area hidden inside of that rock area. And past that, I just moved that moon bear sign into place. I buy 2 moon bears, and yeah. So that's really it. Thank you guys for watching, and I guess you can check out the moon bears here. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.